Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a breezy, sultry, beautiful Friday afternoon at my favorite place, and I think Jeff Defo DeForest is too, Gulfstream Park. It's a Friday. It's Florida Derby Eve. It's the end of March. It's the beginning of April, and no fooling, tomorrow's going to be one heck of a sports day. How are you, Defo?
Be better, man. You know, I love coming out here. Sorry I had a scratch last week. I was having all kinds of difficulties, but you had the very honorable and Igreno out here, and he said he had a blast. And then, you know what? You Svengali him into going to Grandpa's for some bagels. And did you not make a pit stop there? And also, where did you get the donuts?
Well,
Mike,
so we have got such a smorgasbord and feast on tap for these next few days, sports, food. And I figured, why not start off the party with, I did a couple of pit stops this morning. I went to our friends at Grandpa's. This is what they call their mini bagels.
That's the
mini bagel. You would call that like a regular size bagel if you go to the supermarket and you see those Lender's bagels or some of these other bagel shops.
To me, yeah.
This one goes for 75. Usual bagels are bigger than my head. Just, you know me, I'm counting my carbs, Defo. So
I like the new dedication. You were at the Cafe Seville last night. Almost always, automatically, you dial up the veal chop. And
no, I didn't. I forsook the
you
veal
went
chop.
Branzini.
I went with the light fish. And, because I said, all that meat tonight, there's going to be a lot of cheese. The Burger Beast,
nice.
Hamburger House Party. I'm going to be going to that. That's down at the Magic City Casino. Lubie, that guy over there, who's
Money's worth at these kind of things.
We're going to be going there, and we're going to be doing a little giveaway besides our usual contest giveaway on the Fridays at Gulfstream, which is for the 10 Palm Sunday brunch. We're going to have a bonus edition today, exclusively for live viewers of the lunch. There are benefits now to coming out early. Besides the bagels and the donuts from my local bake shack, Keith always does a great job.
I'm a sucker for the apple fritters.
We got all kinds of appetizers and appetizers. So before we get to the main events of the Florida Derby and the Sunday brunch giveaway, we're going to do a little Burger Beast Hamburger House Party giveaway right now. Defo.
Oh, yeah? How are you going to work that?
Well, it's going to be the same kind of thing as the regular contest, and it's the same thing. When you get the answers, it's going to be a two-component thing. Right now, I'm going to give it to you. The first person who sends by email to me at Mike Mayo the correct answers to these questions will win of tickets to tonight's. So you got to be available tonight if you want to win these tickets.
It's at Magic City Casino.
Another pari-mutuel, Magic City Casino, we could say, is down.
Far to the south.
It's downtown Miami, near the airport, just south of the 836.
Little Havana.
Yeah. So Magic City Casino, I think it's starting at 7 o'clock tonight. If you want to get a pair of tickets for you and a guest, it's 21 and over, because there is going to be plenty of booze flowing. Be drinking any of it, but hamburgers, side dishes, all kinds of drinks, alcohol, and desserts, courtesy of Burger Beast himself, Seth Gonzalez. So if you want to go tonight, listen up. Answers, first one in with the correct answers will get these tickets for send them to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. You ready, Defo?
Well, great event, first of all, and we really enjoyed having the Burger Beast on the program. One of the things I liked was the interaction that took place, and they got you going about different type of burger places.
And he liked it too.
Yeah.
He called how much he enjoyed coming on.
That was nice.
And we might have to make it a semi-regular figure.
I think it's good.
A feature with him and other people. So we could talk about. I love getting the audience involved and firing off the questions and getting some good informative answers and entertaining.
like Jack's Old Fashioned Burgers. I'm a fan of those burgers. I think they're among the best. They're simple. Simple sometimes is better than all this fancy schmancy stuff. But they do a real nice job there. Seemed to be a real expert, Michael. I mean, he was opinionated, but less, seemed to really know a wide variety of things about the burger business.
No, the man is informed. They call him Burger Beast for a reason. He is obsessive when it comes to certain food items. My late friend Kevin, who was a chef, Kevin knew Seth back from the days when he ran a food truck, and he loved the Beast, but he said he's got the palate of a 6-year-old.
Well, you do sometimes too, which is interesting.
Against it, some of our favorite times came at those
Food,
elementary
as
lunch
you say,
halls.
it's subjective, and I'm believing after doing this show with you for a year and a half, it's even more subjective than anybody ever imagined.
Right, there are no right answers. There are only correct opinions, and I have correct opinions about 95% of the time. So,
well, I mean, you should have an opinion. Obviously, you have a wide and vast knowledge of a lot of different things, and my favorite thing on to start describing stuff like you did the other day at Even Keel.
Yes,
where you can go toe-to-toe with a Brad at Even Keel about the ingredients.
Even on yesterday's show, I broke into food critic mode at one point when all these different dishes that Christina Wan had brought out with Nikki Mohan, and my brother Burl Mayo. Hello, Burl. We say hi. But all these different dishes. She made a little bit different of the fried rice without soy sauce, so it was gluten-free for people who are gluten-free, whether by choice or because of celiac disease. And that was a very tasty thing. And then the chicken, Mandarin chicken, and the ribs, and I forgot the other component. Oh, those jjajangmyeon, those noodles. It was kind of like spaghetti bolognese, only with Chinese egg noodles and minced up pork in a brown sauce. But it also reminded me of it's a Chinese version of the skyline chili motif, where you have this chopped up, meat sauce that's on noodles. And again, they don't call it Chinese chili; they call it jjajangmyeon, which is a specialty.
So it's not as misleading as skyline.
Misleading, so know what they're getting. Right. And anyway, I loved everything we had there.
Looked great. It really did. It looked great.
And speaking of looking great,
how was Nikki Mohan, by the way?
She's looking great also, and she just was traveling. She was in Lake Charles, Louisiana, for a business affair, and she stayed at the I guess it was the Golden Nugget they have there, and she stayed out of the casinos. I don't know how she had that, because me and you
first place I would check out.
Yeah. So. But anyway, I'm feeling very spring-like. I've got my new spring wardrobe collection.
The new color. It looks fantastic.
Anytime I come into a little money, I go right to my favorite clothing store, which is BJ's Wholesale Club. I see whatever is lying in the rack.
Do you have a card, or do you cheat your way in?
Oh, no, I have a card. Right. It's one of those things that does pay for itself. I love it. I hate clothes shopping. I hate going to a mall,
me too,
trying on things. It brings horrible memories back in Brooklyn with my mom. This one clothing store called High Friedman. And
you never went to S. Klein's? Did you ever go there?
S. Klein's, High Friedman. I'd have to try on my pants.
It was a bookie before he was.
He did both. It was on the side corner behind the dressing rooms. They had one kind of extra cubicle where you could come in and do your.
You could trust High Friedman 100% to be giving you quality clothing.
All I remember is it looks a little tight, Michael. Why don't you try one more size? Try.
You hate that when the big boys shop,
Huskies.
When they went for the Husky. I don't know if you remember this, where the shoes were tied together, and they didn't necessarily even match. It wasn't even like a matching pair. But you had to untie them to try them on, and they were always in a bin tied together.
Anyway, I had horrible flashbacks. I hated doing that. So I love going to my local BJ's. They have all these kind of good slacks and designers that's, price $18.99. This shirt, $17.99. Hager.
And good material for
good material. I feel great. These pants, same thing. It's like the most comfortable pair of pants, and they're stretchy, which is perfect for me.
Nice.
All right, we've meandered. It's time for the Burger Beast contest.
All right, now we're
going to do two contests today. This is a bonus because it's a huge week. It's Florida Derby week. It's final local teams in it. It's going to be Masters week next week. It's Passover. It's Easter. I'm going insane. It's the Eddie, except my name is Mike.
And you're not going out of business, I hope.
I hope not anytime soon. Business is booming here on the Lunchbox, and people are watching. People are enjoying it. People are clamoring to get on board, and we'll always make room for anybody that wants to come aboard. So tell all your friends and neighbors. All right. long enough. It is the Burger Beast Hamburger House Party today here. So be the first one to correctly come up with the two components of these questions and send it to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. Okay, you ready? The Royale with cheese. We're in the burger mode.
Okay.
Burger Beast mode. Do you recall any that had a discussion about the Royale with cheese?
The Royale with cheese.
Don't say the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Okay.
So it's easy for me
Well,
not
it's
to
kind
say
of
it,
a famous film. I love
Very
it.
well-known film, yes.
Film junkie, but it was a discussion about the Royale with cheese. Please name the movie that discussion was in, and name what American fast food item is a Royale with cheese, because a Royale with cheese is only available in European countries, I think specifically France. It's the Royale with cheese. What movie and what is the American fast food item at which restaurant is a Royale with cheese? If you know the answers right now to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com, and you will win a pair of tickets to the Burger Beast Hamburger House Party tonight, the Magic City Casino in Miami. And if you win, I will get the tickets get them back by the same email address that you sent me the winning answer. Easy peasy. Ready to go.
What times they get underway tonight?
I think
7
o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7, and how long is it
Magic
last?
City Casino, 7 to 10.
9 to 10 o'clock, or until all the burgers and booze runs out. And you know what? Mike Lubie Lubitz is going to be
I
there.
will be there.
Mike Mayonnaise Mayo is going to be there. Jeff Defo DeForest, not going to be.
I'm not sure about that, but you know it might be there, and I hope my good friend the Polyman.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Magic
classic,
City.
legendary broadcaster here in
At
South
the
Florida.
casino or
Yes.
at the actual event?
Magic
Well,
City.
you know, he's involved in kind of being on customer service guy. And so I would imagine maybe he's going to peruse the event. But if he knows you guys are going to be there, I'm sure he'll stop in.
All right. Well, I haven't checked my emails. I will on the first break. But again, whoever's the first one to land in my bin will get those tickets with answers to the Royale with cheese. What movie was it a point of discussion in? American item is a Royale with cheese. Name the item and the restaurant along with the movie. You'll win. All right. We're moving on to
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't know whether it's food or the horses. I mean, gosh, tomorrow.
You were this morning on a show about the Florida.
Well, here's my it's a 12-horse race, which means it's open.
Sure.
We're changing. Okay, a prohibitive. Okay,
But what do they list Forte at?
Forte, who
Even
we
money or
discussed
less?
a couple, is listed at even money. He's going to be
Okay.
3 to 5. He looks like a beast. My brother Burl Mayo, who works at, saw him schooling in the paddock the other day, sent me a picture of it. The horse, when you talk about and you just talk about a horse that looks like bursting with confidence and pride. And these animals, they know. I mean, they are like world-class athletes. Like LeBron James, when he kind of struts out on the court for a championship game, this is a guy who's ready to play. This horse looks like the real deal. He's a 3-year-old. He's trying to win this now, the Florida Derby, after making his winning seasonal debut a few weeks ago here in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. I thought he might need a tune-up after winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
You had a good theory on the Fountain of Youth, and the horse that ran second, you like to win, and he ran a very.
No, I ended up. I ended up crushing a trifecta. I got a $5 and then an extra 50-cent trifecta. I got back almost $400.
Yeah.
On basically keying over was even money and Forte.
Well, and that exacta was fat too. I think it came back 17 and change.
Yeah,
I had that for about, and so I made a couple of hundred off the fact that you couldn't beat the favorite once you saw him on the track.
And that's the key to these race days. Even if there is a favorite that you can't beat, there's still ways to make money. The invention of exotic exactas, the top 2 horses, and the trifectas, the top 3. And we're bringing that into play this week. Tired of spending half my Monday mornings writing little names on slips for these 25-way tiebreakers. And I have a feeling Forte, even though it's a 12-horse field, and even though he's breaking from post 11 on the outside, which can be a bit of a challenge here in a 1.125 race, they'll turn, but you got to get to that first opening turn in good position and not lose too much ground. All 3 of the leading contending horses in this race are in the outside 3 posts. It's going to intriguing race for those of you who aren't into horse racing. But Forte, who is co-owned, by the way, by Florida Panthers owner Vinny Viola, is one of Forte, who is now, I guess, the morning odds online favorite, not just for Florida Derby, but for the Kentucky Derby, which is coming up in 5 weeks.
Yes.
And so Vinny Viola, I don't know. So
he's had good luck in the horse racing game.
Yeah, he won a Kentucky Derby as an owner of. Why can't I remember the name?
Is it awesome something?
No, it was for. You know what? Now I got to look this up, but I should know these things because it wasn't that long ago.
I don't know.
It was, but Vinny Viola has already won a Kentucky Derby. Horse Forte looks really strong. It's in partnership with another well-known horse racing owner, Mike Ripoli of Ripoli Stables, and Vinny Viola.
Vitamin Water. He parlayed Vitamin Water. I don't know if it ever did any good, but he sold out in the $1 billion range to Coca-Cola, and he's been everything else he's done ever since.
Yeah, and so now they're on the Derby trail again. But I wonder, how can a guy be so successful in figuring out and picking winning horses and good bloodstock, and yet be so lousy as an owner
maybe
of
he's not
the
doing
Florida
the
Panthers?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
possible, right?
Well, I guess as he handed it over to Doug Seafood.
Isn't
No,
your
I don't
guy-
know.
Well,
GMs and
Ripoli
coaches.
has a good instinct for this, so
That's true. All right, I got to figure out Vinny Viola. Well, I'll do this later, but it's the question. Okay, we're making the contest more difficult this week. Besides coming up with the winning horse, okay, and for everybody out there, Forte is number 11, and the way we do the contest is first you give us. We're going to give the restaurant clues later. Start soon, but then you also need to give us usually just the winning horse in the. And this week's featured race is the Grade 1 Florida Derby. Tomorrow, the last race on the card, 14 race card. 6 races tomorrow,
Nice.
Defo.
what time's it get started?
First race is before noon, 11:30 a.m. post.
I love that.
Post 14, race 14, the Florida Derby. It's going to be broadcast on network TV, I think NBC, at 6:44 p.m. post time, right smack dab that first final that involves FAU and Sand University. This is going to be a tremendous place to come out and watch all the events, because whether you're up at 10 Palms or they have all the little TV screens for all the different racing and also the basketball games, you can also store here the Carousel Club overlooking the track. They'll have TV set up everywhere for both the big races and the big basketball games. So tomorrow is going to be a happening place. Come on out here to Gulfstream Park. It's going to be beautiful. So again, this week we're going to make you pick the second place winner, and besides the first place winner,
Exactly.
we're going to make. We're getting up a notch. We've graduated. We started the year.
It's true.
Soon it'll be superfectas here.
Many people
Lunch.
were skeptical and dubious about whether our crowd
I was the most
I was
skeptical.
right there,
I thought
yes.
this will never work.
would they too complicated. How are you going to explain it? It sounded like it was trying to put together a piece of IKEA furniture.
It sounded like Dave Joseph had a complete disagreement about how the contest should go. You realized that we needed the money, so the sponsorship was very important. So you said, "Yeah, Dave, that's a great idea," and then we had to go ahead and do it.
It's like I said yesterday, restaurateur, necessity is the mother of invention.
Very much so.
And we figured out a way, and now we're stepping it up, because I got to tell you, our audience,
they're on it.
A lot of people in our audience and a lot of the big, sophisticated food crowd in this town. And I'm sorry if we're wobbling, but very breezy day out here. But basically, they do get the whole horse racing thing. They know how to look at a racing form. They actually know how to send me the name of the horse beside number. They are finding their way to the various the Equibase.com site, the Daily Racing Form
No
site.
snide comments like "you can't pick your nose, Mayo," so here's the winner.
I get a couple of those.
Yeah,
Actually, I've had a couple of people been in the hat like 4 or 5, 6 times, and they're desperate to get picked. Last week it was great. The recline was really like saying, "Oh, I really want to finally win, and I want to join you all on April 30th. I think we're going to have like a lunchbox celebration on Sunday, April 30th. We're going to discuss that with Obesia later.
We want to meet everybody. The show.
We're going to arrangements to get a discounted price for the usual low rate of they have the Sunday brunch all you can eat with a mimosa for $50 plus tax and tip. It works out $3 or so. We're going to see if we can do even better for the lunchbox crowd and make certain arrangements, but that's still being worked on. But anyway, getting back to the gist of the matter,
you got to hit an exacta in the Florida Derby.
look, I'm saying
You're
even though Forte
complicating
might
matters.
be
Yeah.
not fully
never
dialed
know.
up, and my only one question, and this is something I didn't even bring up this morning, his father is the name in horse racing terms, was a horse by the name of Violence. Violence was also a very physically striking looking animal. Violence was very impressive early on in his 2-year-old and 3-year-old campaign, was really effective up to like a mile, but he had problems at longer distances. Now, this son of Violence, Forte, which means strong, very strong, no distance, but those last 2 races that he won, I believe here at the Gulfstream Park last month, was a mile and a 16th. Tomorrow is a mile and an 8th. I don't know. I think the Breeders' Cup Juvenile is a mile and a 16th also.
Right.
So now, you say, 16th of a mile, and then the Kentucky Derby is a mile and a quarter, which is another full furlong. Then tomorrow's mile and 8th. These things do make a difference, especially, breeding is key. And when these start stretching out and stepping up, you can start seeing different things happen. My only question with this animal, and it's anything he's done or his looks, is will his breeding somehow betray him when he tries to go a little bit further?
I don't know that it's going to be such a race going the extra 16th over a track he's already won over, but it definitely becomes a factor in a Kentucky Derby. And, they have that whole message and different ways of rating whether an animal has the ability to go a mile and a quarter, which used to be a more typical. I mean, you didn't see a ton of mile and a quarter races, but you saw far more of it than you do now, which it's a rarity to see a mile and a quarter race on a regular, 10 race card on a Wednesday afternoon. So that's, I think, where the difference might, come into play. And also horses that just don't run well at Churchill. So I'm seeing the race to Forte here.
Okay.
And then now I have to get into the complication of who else is in the race.
Yeah.
Right.
To get this Mayo exacta that we need.
Going to go in a little bit deeper today on the big race because it is a major sporting event, a major stepping stone, and in and of its own right. Besides Forte, the other 2 contenders are going to be on either side of him in the starting gate.
Is that horse you liked last time running again?
So here's the thing. Bill Mott, who had Rocket Can, I guess, was the horse that he won the Holy Bull earlier in the season.
Very incredible.
He's ducking this race.
Okay.
He doesn't want any more part. I have a feeling, I didn't read anything, but it's going to be one of those few other prep races coming up in the following weeks. Memorial in New York, the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland in Kentucky. But, a lot of new players in this race. One of them is called Fort Bragg, and it's Joel Rosario is the jockey, and that's the number 10 horse. He's listed at 5-1 in the morning line. It's a horse that's now trained by a West Coast trainer named Tim Yachtine, who actually took over training duties for Bob Baffert because Baffert is still banned from the Kentucky Derby this year.
Get him out of here.
So all his good 3-year-olds, what happens is he trains them and trains them up until about January, February of this year, and then he turns them over to other trainers because those are eligible to run in the Kentucky Derby. That's what's happening with the horse who's supposed to have some ability, listed at 5-1. That's the 10 horse. And then there's the number 12 horse. Danny Gargan is the trainer, a capable young trainer, and the horse is called Dubonel. WNL. I don't even know what a WNL is. Defo here starts perking up sometimes. But
I was going to spark up a joint here, in honor of the Doobie horse, but
totally medical.
All the medical
yes,
people in
and but that WNL is a 6-1 in the morning line. He's ridden by Jose Ortiz. He's run by Irad Ortiz. They're 2 brothers, and they usually run 1-2. So if you're looking for exactas, an 11-12, 11, that's the logical thing. But I always like looking at longer shots, and the race is filled with basically numbers 1 through 9 are all big long shots.
I think it's Forte and a bomb.
And 4 of them are ridden by the leading trainers here, Safi Joseph, who comes from Barbados. And he's actually, I think, a member of Let's Eat Suffler. I saw him chime in on a post one time, hit the like button.
You said something negative about the hot dogs at track. And
no,
he got right into it with you, man.
No, it was about my late friend Sean's place, Tropics, that guy in restaurant on Pines Boulevard. Safi Joseph hit the like button the last time I posted about the rice platters and the lamb chops.
Kate Brader, a big fan of Let's Eat Suffler.
Yeah,
we've got all the time. We've got so we've got the horse racing crowd is here. So the Florida Derby, and let's not forget
10 graded stakes races tomorrow on the card. Bring lots of money, or at least have a valid ATM card,
something that works in the machine.
by the end of the day, it could get a little treacherous. All these other great stakes races that I'm not going to get into here.
It's devastating, though, when you go to the ATM machine at a track or a casino, and thing comes up and it says, unable to complete this transaction at this time. And you're thinking, why? What's wrong with the machine?
Start
and then you
banging the
realize that
machine.
your card has been
Exactly.
shredded while it was in there.
Well, everybody has Daily Max, and the key to life is withdraw the Daily Max at 11:59 tonight, and then you have a start for
So many
tomorrow.
times. The line is 10 deep at the ATM machine.
And you got to make sure, is it a
The casino,
24-hour
yeah.
cycle? Or so you hit the machine early today to get your full allotment to have it in your pocket for tomorrow. All
The math you're doing,
tips.
yeah.
This is what you have to go through. I mean, it's part of the Meshuggah mindset. Believe me, Mike Mayo, I know exactly of what you speak.
This is why some
Then you
of
have
these.
to hope that the wife didn't secretly tap the machine and the card for later in the day.
This is no longer an issue when you have ex-wives.
Yeah, when
That's,
you're on your
yeah.
own.
That's-
That's the nice part
one of
about
the
being
beauties
single.
of being single.
Because it's not Chateaubriand, I always tell my wife. Chateaubriand for two, that's good. Gambling for two, no good.
No, usually
that's
it's
Paella for two over at
Yeah.
better if one
Yeah.
is like into doing the food and wine circuit, and the other one is into the gambling. Like when
Yep,
both
yep.
are into the gambling,
Not good.
it can hurry. So I guess we'll get to it on the.
tough with this exact. I'm not comfortable with this exact.
So we're throwing a monkey wrench
Yeah.
into. Look, it's a Grade 1 stakes. This is the premier race of the meet. It's the
unless
Florida
she was
Derby.
part of the exact.
Some strong scenery.
The camera's shaking like we're at the gate camera at Turfway Park in the middle of winter. When they get that shot and the things just shaking like a leaf.
And tomorrow it's going to be just the scenery out here. And again, the
Yeah.
Derby.
Right, the
I think
hats and everything.
people wear their hats, and
Yeah.
it becomes a whole festival of hats
The
and
girls really step
fashion.
it up.
And that's another thing. Joe Beja, I think, is going to be coming down and back on the show this week, and we'll be talking to him because besides all the big races tomorrow, they are going to have another one of these food and beverage events up on the third floor, the Flamingo Room.
That's a
I
nice
think
spot.
they're calling it Taste of the Track. I think you could probably get tickets now at Gulfstream.com if it's not sold out, but they're doing kind of a classy affair where those who are getting dressed up and have their big fancy hats go up to the Flamingo Room. There's going to be charcuterie, which is a fancy word for cold cuts, and then also cheeses, and also some light bites and
Wow.
some nice wines. So it's going to be a very
do a
refined,
great
Classy,
job.
nice.
very
Right up
refined
Defo's
affair.
alley.
I think they have my name with an X through it at the door that they won't let me in.
And if you know who played Carlo Rizzi in the Godfather 1 and 2, we'll get you into that thing for free too. No, no, we can't do it. You got a lot of crossover contests working here.
Well, again,
so,
the Burger Beast one is done. I hope somebody
Did they
sent
hit it?
me.
Oh, you don't
Well,
know
I'm
yet,
going to
yeah.
go on the I get a thing
You're
in
gonna
the
have to go in the
sunlight.
shade.
Yeah.
But during our first break, I'll see and congratulate whoever won those tickets, and we'll make those. But now it is time.
Let's
Again,
switch that
it's Grade
code.
1, stepping up the level of competition. In the same vein, we're stepping up the challenge.
Are you
Not
comfortable with this, Lubie? The exact that
Yeah,
has
I
to
told
be
him
hit?
beforehand why not go for it.
Yeah,
All right.
because look, the worst thing that
Forte's
could happen.
Forte then gets
Worst thing that can happen is nobody wins, and we got 2 freebies for the April 30th.
someone's
thing.
gonna
Yeah.
win.
No,
There's always a way to
What
win.
will is there's always ways to do tiebreak. Forte somehow loses and somebody actually picks a winner, but not the second place horse. The likelihood is it'll just be one or two of those.
Yeah.
So
And there's
that
no guarantee. Horse gets
and-
off badly from your 11 post. Next
but
thing you know,
it's horse racing. That's
Yeah.
why they play the
doesn't
the
like
game.
That's
running
why
from
they play the
behind. maybe
games.
That's why they run the
so.
race.
that's why they run the races. Plunkett, FAU, UM in a Final Four.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
life is unpredictable. Donald Trump was president.
Now
He's
indicted.
going to be indicted and paraded in handcuffs. Life is strange, my friend.
There'll be no handcuffs on Trump. That'll be my prediction.
All
So
right,
what's
well,
your
But
first
they
clue?
make arrangements. On
Yes,
Thank you
there's-
for trying to keep
Yeah.
me on track
What's
here.
your first clue?
All right, so once
What's
again,
your question?
it
Yeah,
is
the
our
restaurant.
weekly 10 contest giveaway Sunday brunch for 2, a Sunday from now until the end of it's either April or May. It might extend all the way into May because we're going to be doing these shows the way.
We should go through the Triple Crown.
Oh yeah,
Maybe we just keep
definitely
going.
Tell
weekly.
Joseph we're
Definitely weekly
Through the
through
Travers.
the Triple Crown. And then
And
we
then
might
next
cut back
year.
for the summer season to either once or twice a month. These things are to be determined. But again, pick Give me the top 2 horses in tomorrow's Florida Derby.
Top 2. Wow.
Give me 2 numbers between 1 and 10. Again, the first place finisher and the second place finisher in that order, or send me the names of the horses in the order of first and second, along with.
Can you box him? Do you get a box?
There's no such thing as an exacta box in a contest. I need a winner and a place
and the
horse.
runner-up.
Mayo
1,
with
2.
the rules.
Whoever you listen, whoever you list with number that
you
comes
say this
first
is the
is
winner.
place horse.
Is the 3 knockdown rule in effect? I mean, you're throwing a lot of rules in here.
Outstanding
confuse me.
8 count. Now I got to find the actual questions.
now we
You
need
don't
your
remember the
clue.
restaurant?
Well, I remember the rest. I have highly detailed questions that
No, you're the king
makes
of
things.
clue
Here we
writing.
go. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
All right. It is time for this week's questions for the restaurant component of the contest. Again, you got to send these by noon Saturday. I got one at about 12:40 something last. The winning horse. You know what? Didn't make it into the hatch.
Stewart's
You know, because I'm a bastard. You gotta
No,
follow the
because
rules.
then what happens
You
is
become
no
confusion
cutoff.
of cash. There's no doubt about
You
it.
need people are just
Yeah.
going to take advantage
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
fair.
It's
rules.
fair.
This is a
Contest is a
man.
contest.
He runs 2 trivia contests every week
Believe me,
at
I've heard all the
local
garbage.
establishments.
Believe me,
You
there's a lot of
gotta
cheating going on
lay
in those
down.
contests.
I know everybody's looking
You
up
need to have
stuff on
rules.
Nothing is on the level.
Just believe me, you need to have rules.
Everybody's
This one
looking.
is, though. This
Look
one
it up
is on
on
the
You need
level.
to have rules.
All right, and again, send the top 2 horses and the answer MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow, Saturday, April 1st. No fooling. All right, for this week's restaurant, we're paying homage to a bygone place that was very popular with the Gulfstream and horse racing crowd.
Okay.
Don't blurt it out, Defo.
Did we have this one already, though?
we
we have
haven't
not
have
it at all.
discussed it on the show before,
Oh,
but we've never used it as a contest answer.
All
So
right.
here are the clues. Don't blurt it out, Defo. This Hollywood Broadwalk specialized in Argentine and Italian cuisine with meat, seafood, and pastas. And it also featured many horse racing and winner's circle photos along the wall, along with many racing luminaries such as jockey Jerry Bailey and Pat Day and trainers Sean and Bill Mott at the tables. Okay, so that's clue number 1.
And by the way, it was a great restaurant. Sorely missed. I love that place.
Yep.
That was my go-to place. Cafe Seville kind of became that to a lesser extent, not as recently, Cafe Max at one time. But I loved going to this restaurant with friends. You could have a great time. People are always complaining, oh, it's too loud. It didn't matter if it was loud or not. I mean, it wasn't like they were blasting music, but there was a vibe in there. And the food was great.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely great.
It was great.
Chilean
And
sea bass.
I've got other clues that we're going to be giving out that may, and I wanted to make this one purposely a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
One that's maybe not so easily Googleable.
Yeah.
Is that a world? Because again, grade 1 edition, we're stepping up the game. Exacta top 2,
And an exacta.
along with
Wow.
a restaurant that maybe not everybody is as familiar
It's
with.
probably not mainstream.
Here comes Joe. We got to get to
the.
the commercial break because Joe B is coming with food. We're going to be back after on the Lunchbox with Director of Food and Beverage Joe Beja after.
Oh man, he went wild.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. We're here at Gulfstream Park. It's Florida Derby Eve. It is the last day of March. Tomorrow is April 1st, but no fooling around. We've got Director of Food and Beverage here at Gulfstream Park. Welcome back to the show. We know that you suffered a family loss, and again, condolences on that. But how is everything going besides that in terms of racing, and are you ready for tomorrow?
Pretty much. We're almost there. Details, excited for tomorrow. 10 Palms is sold out for tomorrow. And we still have tickets available for our wine event that we're doing up in the Flamingo Room. Previous times we had done bourbon and barbecue and tacos and tequila and a nice wine event.
Taste of the track.
Taste of the track. Chef's doing about 5 different stations, including carving and pasta.
The Taste of the Track.
Up at the Taste of the Track.
Because I just saw it was like charcuterie and
that
light
too
bites,
as well.
So
there's a few things too. Yeah, we're going to feed everyone very well. We're expecting about 300 people up there. Still some general admission tickets.
Nice.
We don't guarantee seating up there. Kind of a more
mixed, roaming around type
like
of
event.
Food festival
Correct.
Type of scene.
Correct. Yeah. But there's still tickets available for
$100. People get those if they want to get into the track tomorrow?
They go on the Gulfstream Park website and they can click on Taste the Track, and it'll take them to getting GA tickets for tomorrow, which is from 1 to 4.
Okay.
So it's 3 hours and wine included.
So it's Gulfstreampark.com, I believe, is the website. Check it out, 1 to 4. The big race itself is a little later in the day, but that's a perfect setup. I tell you, talk about a 1-2 punch. You go up some food and some good
as I've said before, I've been to a few of these Taste of the Tracks in the past, and they're extremely well run. And we're talking about food festivals. You always hate when they pour you a thimble of wine somewhere, and then you got to wait on another line of 20 deep. But nothing but the best of treatment there, and everything's plentiful and available. And it's a real time, a well-run event.
Thank you.
Yeah. And looking forward to all that. Meanwhile, what do we have in front of us here? We've got some more plates. How do you do it every week? Come up with something different.
We're trying to. I think I might have repeated our turkey bacon melt, which is all the way on the end there. But that is a new item to our menu. So it's been on the menu for about 4 months. It's been very popular. Here I brought the burrata.
Nice.
You know,
that burrata looks gorgeous.
Still having a Friday. For anyone that's obeying on that one. And then anyone who's not, we added the sliders over here. I figured there are 3 of you, 3 sliders. So
that sounds good. That sounds like a plan. And those are nice little burgers. And
little mini brioche buns.
Speaking of
cheddar.
burgers, we have a Burger Beast, Seth Gonzalez. He's a very popular blogger in town. Having a burger event tonight down at Magic City Casino. He was on earlier this week, and we ran a little contest before the Gulfstream 10 Ponds contest we running this week, as we do every week, to give away 2 Sunday brunch vouchers to 10 Palms, beautiful 10 Palms, right overlooking us on the track. Tomorrow is going to be sold out there. Sunday, I'm sure there's still availability. Sunday is going to be a big day because there's a potential for like a $10 million automatic. They have to give it away because it's the last day of the Winter Championship meet. So automatic, mandatory payout days. It usually swells. Sure, the track officials have their fingers crossed that it does not get hit or tomorrow, and that then it will build up to a huge, I'm talking 15, maybe 20 jackpot mandatory payout, which means 10 Palms is going to be a pretty happening place to be. One of my friends, Joe Esposito from Cafe Seville, was talking about. I hope he'll be able to get up there. And if he comes out, I'm going to come out too. So maybe he can squeeze out a seat for me somewhere.
Absolutely.
I don't even need you've seen me eat, Lubie. I could just give me a plate in a little corner and I'll just be hunched over and shoveling food in. Of that, I'm going to hit the burger. And Burger Beast tonight, I meant to say we ran that contest. I've gotten one. I think it was from Andy. Andy, you had the first part right, but not the second one. So we're still open for the Burger Beast contest of the Royale with cheese. What discussion and what movie was that in, and what fast food item referring to? Send that to me at mikemayoeats@gmail.com. And now up to the second clue of this week's contest, Joe.
Give him the first one.
Well, of course. I always repeat it for Joe. But I want to always see if Joe, this is a place that might have been around before your time. You've been in South Florida how long?
20 years.
20 years. Oh, then it's been here. Okay. You might know it. Might have talked about it on the show while you were here, but we've never had it as a contest answer before. And it's the whole Florida Derby horse racing thing. This is a place that was very popular with the Gulfstream and horse racing crowd. And the first clue was this restaurant was located directly on the Hollywood Walk, and it specialized in Argentinian and Italian cuisine with meats, food, and pastas. And it also had many winner's circle horse racing photos up on walls, along with many racing luminaries at the tables, including like Jerry Bailey and trainers Shug McGay, Bill Mott. They were longtime regulars of the place, but it's a bygone. It is no more. It used to be on the Hollywood Broadwalk. That was clue number 1. Number 2, it was operated by business partners Los and Alberto, who often could be found during the day in the paddock and right behind me here at Gulfstream Park during the winter racing months, and really all year long. Anytime Gulfstream was racing, they would be out here at the track. Do you have any clue what restaurant this is?
No.
He's clueless. And we've purposely stepped up the game of difficulty on the contest this week because it's the Grade 1 Florida Derby. We are stepping up, the step out of the horses. Forte looks strong. They're trying to win lucrative prize and get Kentucky Derby points and make their way to Derby, run for the roses. Forte looks like the favorite. Do you have any racing opinions? Do you think this horse is the real deal?
From what I hear, and I'm not a racing expert, believe me, I'm here for the hospitality.
Alberto, by the way.
Everyone talks about Forte. We were very excited when he came onto the track this week, and
saw him schooling. I got a picture of it from my brother who works here. He looked like a beast. He is a fine specimen, but It's not a beauty contest.
I was going to say,
No.
commonly known as Tito. It was and Tito.
Tito, I knew him as
That's how we
Alberto.
knew him.
As Alberto. Anytime, and
Carlos
I
and Tito.
had many dealings with the two of them. Carlos was a little bit more of the reserve one. Tito was the
He was kind of the spokesman. Yeah.
yeah, and but again, it's a bygone place. And the other thing besides the level of difficulty with the restaurant clues, it's also we're making people not just pick the winner. We want the top 2 finishers. In Forte wins, I don't want to have a 60-way tiebreaker this week.
Right.
Because last week we had with 3 scratches and an odds-on favorite winning. We had 24 names in the hat on Monday.
Wow.
It's very tiring when I have to write all those little names on slips of paper. So we're stepping it up this week. Top 2 finishers in the Florida Derby, numbers 1 through 12, along with the restaurant answer to Mike Mayo Eats at gmail.com. Noon tomorrow, April Fool's Day. I guess it's good time. What else is I guess once the Florida Derby and Championship meet is over, happens here in terms of food and beverage, is everything still the same, or certain things start shutting down?
No, everything is still the same. It's just obviously one less day. No racing on Wednesdays. So everything is still the same. We keep the brunches on the weekends and the buffet on Saturday and the brunch on Sunday in 10 Palms. Concession stands remain the same, just no Wednesday.
So the
only restaurant that closes is the barbecue restaurant. Gets a lot out there on the apron, on the not on the apron, excuse me, on the walking ring area.
But on the weekends, is that Blood Mary, the Raw Bar, still open on the weekend?
That it might be a second phase that would go through. We maybe start on the weekends through the summertime, so we do 2 days a week.
Okay. So, look, there are seasons here, and you do kind of scale things up and down depending on the needs. But the bottom line is there's always 10 Palms open available race day, right? And so you could get that table overlooking the track. And on Sundays, you could always get that spectacular brunch buffet that has the eggs, the omelets, the carvery, the desserts.
Can't go wrong, and a great view.
I am looking forward to it, and I think we are having discussions. I think Lunchbox fans, we're going to have a Lunchbox brunch outing, a brunch bunch on April 30th. So mark your calendar. Besides, a couple of winners are already in the books for coming out that day to get their complimentary brunch for 2. I'm going to be out here. Lubie's going to be out here. Defo, will we count you in?
I'm in. Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I'm in.
We'll get as many as we can, but you a discounted price that day. We're still working out the details, but it looks like it's going to be in the 20% off
Did you run
range.
that by Joe yet?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. Yeah. I was going to spring it on
If he
him on
finds
the
out
air.
on the show and then has to go for $12,
No, a very generous offer of we want to have a celebration and a party, and we'll get hopefully a big crowd, but we're going to make the arrangements of how to register and if you either want to prepay or we'll spend, basically do the day of. We'll figure out all those details, but it looks like we're going to be offering a Lunchbox brunch celebration on Sunday, April 30th for the reasonably low price of $40 per person. That is a 20% discount off the usual rate. And the $40, then you'll have to also put on the tax and tip at the usual customary rate. Don't be afraid to put your bucks in cash when you're around, especially if once you start hitting all those exactas and daily doubles and things like that. Speaking of which, who won the first race, Jeff?
I believe the 8 ball did it. Yeah,
that's good.
I was going to wheel the 8, but I didn't.
Was he a price?
So here I sit.
Was he a price? Because I did.
It was like 9-2.
Okay. I did one of my pounded open, and I know nobody in the audience cares, but hey, I'm a degenerate. I'm excited. It's Florida Derby Eve. It's a big week. We got Final Four. We got the Masters next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spring. Spring is in full flight. I am
Major
giddy.
League Baseball. You missed that opening
Major
day.
League this town. It's easy to forget. Sorry, Marlins, but Mets fans are excited.
I thought for one day there might be a chance that the Marlins would be over 500 this year, but that went out the window because now they're 0-1. I don't think they ever. I don't sniff 500.
Well, we'll see what happens, but they've already started in the hole. They're at 0-0-0. Starsky numbers. After
Well, it's one game. I mean,
I know,
you
it's a
can't
little
go
bit
crazy. But
Hey, are you a big college basketball fan? What do you think what's gone on these last few weeks with our local college hoop?
Follow a little bit. Of course, March Madness gets everything going, and I'm a huge fan during March Madness. I participate in Fraternity Brothers, and I've been following it great. And the FAU Cinder is just amazing.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
It's been incredible to watch, and they're playing high quality basketball. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like fluke and just chucking up a bunch of threes. They're playing defense,
Yeah.
and they're smart basketball, tough, tenacious D, and hitting great shots and draining foul shots when it gets into that one-on-one. So it's just been a joy to watch. And again, same thing with tomorrow's race. Yes, Forte can't be beat. Still got to run the race. Anything could happen. FAU, are in there. Who knows? With tomorrow's race, maybe it might be a huge long shot. You never know. And
I
it's
like
gonna
the
be-
FAU, the whole Gene Hackman vibes. Home crowd is usually 2,500.
Yeah.
Now they're 1,000 down in Houston. So I keep movie with
He'll do the tape measure,
tape measure and let them know it's the same exact court,
Same
just a lot
exact
more
height.
people. So
but the depth and the angles when playing it in a football
It
stadium.
would be tough to
is-
shoot
Yeah.
a basketball under
Yeah.
those circumstances.
in the Hurricanes,
Real weird.
how great is it? Final four across the nation, and
Yeah.
2 out of the 4 from South Florida.
These guys are buddies with Larinaga. He's been coming
Yeah.
on their show
Jim
for
Larinaga is the
10
best. Sweetheart of a
whatever it
guy.
is. He's been in Miami. And I'm rooting. You always root for the best story. As a sports writer, I did. As a fan, I do. The best story would be a UMFAU final. Maybe the
Absolutely.
rest of the country wouldn't think so.
And it ends in
Yeah.
a draw.
And you have to go to overtime. And well, who knows what could happen. But anyway, we got to take one more break. Should we finish up the contest clues? Let's finish up the contest
Yeah.
clues. And again, this is for the weekly.
I think it's one of those places that you either, there's no middle ground here. You either were very familiar with it or you
Right. Clue is going to contain one of my Inspector Clouseau things that maybe
Somebody got murdered in the parking lot.
You'll no.
That was Clue
There's
last
no
week.
violence. In
All
the-
right.
That that
You
one
were in
actually-
a different mood. That was before you got that check.
Yeah, no. Odd because one of the people that was involved in that incident actually entered the contest and
I
almost
love
won.
that.
So
See?
that was it.
Shows you what a small world it is.
That was McGuire's Hill 16
Yeah.
for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, so what's
we're
the third
back to the Hollywood Broadwalk. This was a horse race friendly place that a lot of Gulfstream luminaries and people would come out here, and the owners were Carlos and Alberto or Tito. And I don't know if they ever horses, but they
I
certainly
believe they
bet
did.
on them.
I want to say they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, it's a bygone restaurant that was on the Hollywood Broadwalk, specialized in Argentinian, Italian cuisine with meat, seafood, and pastas. A lot of horse people in there, a lot of winner's circle photos on the wall. People like jockey Jerry Bailey, now racing commentator, along with trainers Chuck McGahee, Bill, often eat regulars. And again, the owners were horse racing fans, and we think owners. And here's the final clue. And again, we need in the Florida Derby, top 2 finishers, numbers 1 through 12, or the names in order, along with this restaurant. Send it to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. Third and final clue. Here's the fun fact, Defo. I rehearsal dinner at this restaurant.
Well, you should have taken more practice.
Well, alas, the marriage did not last. And the restaurant also, unfortunately, is no longer with us either because it was sold when Tito Alberto did get sick. He had to return to Argentina for a while, and then he came back here, and he's actually doing some stuff here at the.
They had another
Gulfstream.
restaurant
They had-
for a little while.
Yeah, another
nearby.
restaurant next
Yeah.
door. But anyway, he got sick and came back. Eventually, the sickness, cancer came back, and he eventually succumbed. That was also sad. So again, the marriage didn't last. The restaurant ended up not lasting. It's a reminder that sometimes life is as fleeting as a breeze on the beach.
Oh, very nice. Okay,
There you
worked
go.
something
So
in
I-
there. That was
I
subtle.
a little
Yeah.
poetic. Mike Mayo writerly touched there.
Wait, they used to advertise with us on our trivia. We used to joke that Carlos and Tito were actually out there. The fish was so fresh, they were out there with like hip boots on, reeling this stuff in from the shore. You couldn't get anything any better. And they made a great presentation, and they did something that I like. I don't know that everybody does, where the salad came out like if it came out for $4, and it was a great salad as a prelude that came with the dinners, which they
did
really
a great-
were very
They
reasonable.
did a tremendous job. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
reason why I hold my rehearsal dinner there.
Yeah.
It was right around.
Now,
was
was she
near me.
was she invited?
Yes, she was
Oh, okay.
invited. We were still talking at the time. Oh man, we had a wonderful evening that night. And again, it was a place that had these, windows that literally the ocean. I mean, at night you can't see the ocean so well, but time when didn't get dark You would have these beautiful kind of nice evenings where you could look out at the ocean while you're eating on the Hollywood Broadwalk, horse racing friendly. And again,
You would call patients,
it's-
and I never forget. You couldn't really understand. I'm not sure. I guess it was Carlos that was answering the phone.
Carlos was
And
the phone.
here we go. What time? 6:25, 6:35.
Yeah.
He said just like that. And
Like
you
the
go, yeah,
onions
yeah,
guy.
whatever you say, man.
So
We'll
again,
be
this
there.
was a place. It's no longer with us. My marriage is no longer with us, and it's a reminder that life can be fleeting like a breeze along the beach. All right, let's say a kind word about another horse racing friendly place that has never been one of our answers, but for us, it's an answer every day, and for me, almost every week. I was there earlier this week. I enjoyed talking about Tropical Acres, talking about a place that Sam Studiali, no longer with us either, but a huge supporter of the races, actually sponsored a racing show.
Oh, yeah.
And now,
Let's see the races with Bob Savage.
yeah, and now Jack Studiali is the owner-operator, along with his sons, Joe and Jackson, and they'll take great care of you. Reminder, they are going to be open for Easter Sunday, usually closed on Sundays, but next week, holiday meal from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. So call them up at Tropical Acres, 954-989-2900. It's at 2900. I'm sorry, 2500. I'm getting all mixed up now. 929-2500. It's at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the 95 and the airport there. It's been in business since 1949. That's older than Defo. Defo? Who's Defo?
You're losing it, man.
I'm losing it.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. And got the great, the prime rib that I had earlier this week, the filet mignon, the lamb chops that coming up soon. Going to be the twin special. That you can't beat the deal. It's value, service, quality, hospitality, everything you want. Half price wine night Monday and Tuesday. Happy hour on the bar Monday through Friday from 4:30 to 6:30. Half price on every beverage in the house, along with great light bites and small plates. Tell them the Lunchbox.
All right, coming back to wrap up this Gulfstream Park edition of the Lunchbox, and then go gamble our things out in a moment.
I'm alive in the dark.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent.
Wow, I'm very happy. I just looked at my thing. I got to make sure the timestamp on it, but it looks like we do have a winner of the Burger Beast ticket.
Oh. What was the movie?
And I'm shocked that Andy man, because he's usually pretty good at these things. It's somebody from Yoga Connection, which is in Davie.
Okay.
So Burger Beast tickets tonight.
I'll be out
Burger
there.
House
I'll
party.
be out
We're
there.
giving away. We just love giving away stuff.
Yep.
The cheese discussion was in the movie. Quentin Tarantino, John Travolta,
Pulp
Samuel
Fiction.
L. Jackson,
Pulp
classic.
Fiction?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah,
This
okay.
movie. And can you guess what burger they were talking about? In France,
It's what they call it overseas.
no
I
idea.
think
in
in
France,
in
let's
England
see.
they call it that too.
Do they have a system or American weights and measures
No,
in Europe?
I'm
It's
going
all
to say
metric.
metric. Yeah.
Metric.
those
So then
European
what
freaks.
burger, what item maybe wouldn't translate so well to the metric system.
Quarter pounder with cheese.
Good
There you
job by
go, my
you.
friend. The
Good job by
McDonald's
you.
quarter cheese with
overseas they call it the Royale
with cheese in the
Nice.
McDonald's in France. Pulp Fiction. Yoga Connection, congratulations. Your name, unless Yoga is your first name and Connection is your last
I would
name.
think not.
It's copyrighted, though, so that's pretty cool.
I would think
Let's
not.
hope
I'm
they
going
have
to
a good
copyright
time
my name. Mike
Congrats
Mayo.
to you.
Mike Mayo Eats. Congrats.
And you should come check
You're going to be
it out
going
tonight. It'll be a
to
blast.
the Magic City Casino tonight because he's a guy who likes to eat like me.
Yeah.
He sets things up. You're not going to go home hungry. No doggy bags allowed. You got to put it right in here.
He said
All
he
bought and paid
ate something the other day, following each other on Twitter, and he ate a 4-patty burger the
Wow.
other day. 4 patty.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about
But that's
it.
a
Yeah,
lot,
it's
and
not
he
good,
scares
yeah.
me, and he's a good dude. So
He told me he was cutting back also, that he
Feels like
couldn't
he's
eat
worse
like
than
he
you.
once
Maybe he
did.
used to eat 5 patties. 20% reduction. Yeah.
That's one way of looking at it.
Weight,
It's like I used to bet on 100 races on a Saturday, and
how
now
do you
I've
make a
cut
small
back to
fortune at
80.
the track? You start with a large fortune. Yeah.
We're going to be plunging our guts out tomorrow. We've got to say a couple of words about our friends at the
Yes.
Seafood Market.
yes.
We had a great
The
time
holidays.
there last week, and the holidays coming up next week. We've got Passover starting on Wednesday night.
Yep.
First of 8 nights. The Seder's on the first 2 nights.
Yes.
Go in there, gets the gefilte fish. Jose, the seafood manager, he's pictures of the fish yesterday they're going to
Nice.
use to, grind up and make the gefilte fish fresh in house. For those who love that, I mean, it really makes all the difference in the world. It's like anything else when a food product that comes jarred in a gel. The
It's
jelly
like opening
thing,
up a can of Chung King compared to Christine Watts.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
it's night and day,
Yeah.
and they have all the freshest. The Easter table, they have all the lambs, the leg of lambs, and whatnot. And they also have, goes with any occasion. Whether it's the fish or whether it's some of the, the shrimp, the Key West pink shrimp, stone crabs. I think that makes a great appetizer for any holiday meal, except if you're kosher. For Easter, I think I'm going to turn over I think I'm in.
You gave her stone crabs. You did a nice
Got the stone
thing, and you
crab.
weren't a jerk about it.
My daughter relays the message that as long as I bring some of the food, and I will be going to 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just south of Sterling Road there. You know it. They've got the big chicken on the roof and the Seminole Classic Casino right across the street. Go in there, see Jose is the seafood manager, or Gene is the overall manager, Doug Carter, the owner. They do a terrific job. They take great care of you. Curbside service, DelawareChicken.com for all the weekly specials, daily catch, open every day. And it's gonna do it.
Well,
for
we
this
got
week.
horses to bet, Mike Mayo. Horses to
Got
bet,
horses to bet,
games to watch,
burgers to eat,
food all.
Joe to thank. We're going
Yeah.
to be having a Sunday brunch bunch celebration, April 30th. Put it on your calendars. We're going to get all the details, but it looks like that, if you're going to be able to make it, $40 plus tax and tip, 20% discount from the usual for our Lunchbox crowd. Again, for tuning in, our contest, remember, name of the restaurant, and also the finishing horses in tomorrow's Kentucky Derby. Mike Mayo Eats at gmail.com by noon tomorrow. Until Monday, I think next week, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be home. Defoe's got to go get his various
What's
Infinities
going on? Yeah.
checked out on Tuesday. We're going to have a special co-host on Tuesday, who I don't know who it is yet, but we'll get somebody. And Wednesday, we're going to be at Wicks. Thursday, we're going to be at a new place. We're going to visit one of my favorite people, Aruba Beach Cafe on the beach in Lauderdale by the Sea, a place that we're familiar with, and a place that really you should check out because besides Brad and Dave at Even Keel Fish Shack,
I'm laughing because where are we going to be the week after, Mayo?
I don't know, where are we going to be?
Almost. You're going to run out of music, kid.
No, raise the windows right there. You're not
you
going
were
to get
signing
shut
off an
out.
hour ago.
I'm alive in the double. I'm living on this.
You know.
All right, so Aruba Beach Cafe, Gulfstream Park again next Friday. That's going to do it. Remember, everybody, we love you and enjoy every sandwich.
You've lost it, man. You've lost it.